Hi, my name is Amy Feldman, and I will be doing my video on autism spectrum disorder. Characteristics of autism as a baby include no babbling or pointing, no single words, no response to names, loss of language skills, poor eye contact, lining up of toys or objects, no smiling or responsiveness. As a child, it is harder for them to make friends, hard to have a conversation, absence or impairment of imagination and social play. Repetitive language, intense or focused interest, preoccupied easily with objects, inflexible to routines or rituals. This is my friend Rachel Burton. She is going to tell us about early signs of her children and how she found out they had autism.
Hi, this is Rachel Burton and one of her children, and she is going to talk to us about autism.
Okay, my name is Rachel. I have 4 kids. The oldest 3 are all have been diagnosed on the spectrum. So my oldest son Nolan, he's 10 now, and he seemed totally fine as a baby. He had jaundice, but that was really the only thing. When he was a very, I would say, calm baby. Like, I remember my mother-in-law saying it was weird that he would just sit on my lap and not, like, want to get down and run around. He always just wanted to sit on my lap. But besides that, the only thing is when he got close to 1, my brother and his wife had a baby, like, 2 weeks before Nolan. So they were about the same age. And we were at my mom's, and she was kind of playing on the floor, and her mom said her name to her, and she turned around and looked at her, and I was like, oh, she knows her name? And she's like, oh yeah, she's known her name for a while. And it got me thinking, like, I don't think Nolan knows his name. Like, he's never looked at me when I've said his name. And he was really slow to crawl. He was, I guess not really slow. He was probably about 9 months, but he crawled until he was almost 2. His birthday's in October. He took his first steps in August. So he was almost 2 before he started to walk. So he didn't respond to his name. He did like some babbling, but it wasn't, not really words. And then I had talked to the doctor about it, and he was just kind of like, oh, some kids are a little slower, let's just wait and see. And he got to a point where he had him, like, oh, maybe he's not hearing well, so let's go check out his ears. And we checked out his ears, and he did have a lot of fluid in his ears. So he was over 1 by the time we got tubes in his ears. I want to say like 1.5. And the doctor was like, well, it'll take some time, because he's just hearing things correctly for the first time. So we thought maybe he'll start talking now. And he didn't. And then he was closer to 2, and we had him in the doctor's office. And I remember this was the first time that he did this in the doctor's office. He was just like pacing back and forth in front of the doctor and me, and just like agitated, like doing stuff with his hands. And the doctor like said to me, he's like, I don't know, like this kind of looks like autism. And my mom had already kind of said that to me, that she thought maybe that was a possibility.
Okay, she just described her first son, Nolan, and signs of his autism when he was a small child. Let's continue on.
In that time, Lucy was 2 and she was talking, and so we thought everything's fine. And she was getting close to being 3, and I was kind of starting to realize that sure she talks, but she is just like naming objects, and she was really good with her letters and numbers. She could name a million objects, but she couldn't really put a sentence together, and she couldn't talk to you about like how she's feeling or what she wants or just conversational things. She didn't do any of that. She just mostly named objects.
Hi.
So we saw her describe how Nolan Her oldest was diagnosed with autism. And then when her second child came, it was a little bit different signs, but was also diagnosed with autism. Her third child, Ruby, also was diagnosed with autism around the same age.
Hi.
Next, I want to talk about some services for children with autism. And here's Rachel again talking about some of the services that they have done for their children.
Different services and stuff to do. So Amy actually told me about early intervention. So we got him into early intervention not long after he turned 2. We went and had him evaluated. By that time, we had already had Lucy. They were only 15 or 14 months apart, so she was already born and almost 1 when he got an actual diagnosis. He was over 2 and she had just turned 1. So we went along we did the early intervention stuff, and then we started doing some ABA, and at that time it wasn't like covered on insurance or anything. It was really expensive.
What's ABA?
Applied behavior analysis. And so we worked with a place in Lehigh. It's called Autism Journeys. I don't think it's in business anymore. And so we took him there, or they came to our house. We did a little bit of both a few times a week. But because of how expensive it was, even though they recommend doing like 30 hours of that a week, we could only do like 6. We did 2 3-hour sessions. We kept him into that and got him on the list at Pingree. So we kept him in Autism Journeys until he went to Pingree, because they do ABA at Pingree. In speech, right when she turned 3, and she is 9 now, she actually just got kicked out of speech in school because they said she was not severe enough to need services anymore at school. So she did speech for a really long time, and it's really helped her. She's in the normal. She also went to Pingree, so the 2 of them went to Pingree together. And she came back to the district for kindergarten. She's been in regular class ever since. But as she got older, she wasn't talking. So we went and had her evaluated not long after she turned 2, and she also was diagnosed with autism. She did early intervention, so all 3 of those kids, they did early intervention. And did the school district's preschool for a while. And then they all 3 went to Pingree for a while. Ruby's back in the school district now. She's in an autism unit at, I don't remember what it's called, Heartland Elementary in Jordan School District. And that's where Lucy is. And Nolan's in multiple disability, like intellectual disability autism unit at Golden Fields.
So as you can see, she has her children at 3 different schools for 3 different types of autism. Some classroom strategies for students with autism include letting them know what will happen next, show him or not tell him. Set expectations and be consistent and follow through. Acknowledge your student for complying with the teacher's requests. Tell the student specifically what you expect and allow him to earn privileges for complying with your expectations. Give choices. Use a schedule. Allow the student to use a transitional object. Distract or redirect problematic behavior. Bring your student to a quieter place to de-stress. Make directions clear, short, and concrete. Take advantage of teaching moments and let them know when the task will end. This is Isaac. He's another friend of mine with autism. He's 15 years old. Get involved and join Autism Speaks to help raise awareness for autism.